Hey everybody, welcome to the nightly vid. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter video today. However, let's jump in. So starting with the SPY, you're going to see we had a gap up into the highs and sell. So what did we talk about last night? We talked about the US 500, right? If we're going to have a bullish, move with this, we need to see it go down first. So the fact that we went up first and then CPI came out gives you reclaim to the downside bearish move, right? So like we said, if we're going to go bullish, we'd like to go down and then up. So since we started up, then we go back down. So it's that simple. So go and watch last night's vid. We did chat about how that would work out as far as, bullish, bearish circumstances. That being said, on the SPY, it's what we call gap up sell. So the second it gaps up, you're seeing top of the Browning formation. That's a sell when it goes red here. And down they went. You'll see if you're going to wait for a new setup, you look for corrective activity. You'll see we had this green bar that's corrective against the bright red day. Then the 2-2 reversal down here, down they go. It was a simultaneous break. If we go to the Dow Jones, you will see as well, not gap up sell, but 3 on the day, and then 2 up and then 3 again. So once the 3, always a 3, this means it's a broadening formation. New lows, new highs in the morning, new lows, and then expansion. They close out of the range and they stay out. You'll see IWM gap up and sell as well today. So it looks like this. New low, new high, gap up sell, new low. You'll notice the corrective activity on the 60-minute here, the inside 60. So pretty cool stuff today. As far as what we alerted on, we had the 225-minute IWM, which we talked about, as well as the tenor. 2-2 on IWM, and you're in short, and you didn't have to cover all day. Just down they go. So pretty cool there. That being said, most things are going to look like the futures today. You'll have some 2 up and reds. You'll have some 3s. So we'll stick to some higher volatility names and see what we can get from there. If we go to SPY, you'll have the 2-2 setting up into tomorrow. So notice top of the broadening formation, 2-2 daily reversal, pivot machine gun. And if we look down and left, it could, get a little nastier as we get into the end of the week. All these guys in one go potentially. And the futures did close a little lower, so we might have a gap tomorrow. Dow Jones took the inside week down reversal. So when we look left in the Dow Jones, we want to be aware. This is a 3. So for below these highs, that's a bad thing, right? If we can reclaim back to the upside, then we'd see recovery. IWM could become the 2-2 week down, which gives you a further target to 214.15. Let me clear this out. Like so. And then we also have a 3 back here, so I'm going to be aware of that. SPY, potential outside week, and then Qs, still a little bit stronger, but could become 3-2-2. That's something we look for. So we could have simultaneous continuation tomorrow and reversal tomorrow, SPY and Qs. That's something we want to know. So if we go take a look, let's just hit the scans and we'll try and be quick. So best way to do this quickly, you go 2 up, and you go red, there's your 2 up and reds, right? 59 names here on the 60, but we go to the day, you'll see 60% of the SPY going down, the whole market, right? They sold everything besides some tech, right? But they closed 2 up and red in tech. So most 2 up red setups will be here. So if we go in technologies, there they are, 2 up and red setups. And then you can sort, by what you like. I like the higher ATR. So we can go here and we'll go highest to lowest, crowd, Palantir, etc. And we're just going to kind of show off how quick this can be tonight. How about that? So crowd could become the 2-2-2 to the downside. It is already a 2 down week, 2 going 3 months. So into full time frame continuity to do this. 4-4-5-2-6. We do have pivot targets below. So this could, start really taking them out tomorrow, since it failed to go to the upside. We'll go like this. And this will be a little slower since we do have to write the list down in the future. Hopefully we'll have a way around that, but let's see, Tuesday night vid. All right. Palantir. So Palantir got a nice triangle in here. New highs, new lows, new highs again. Now it's nowhere near changing the week or month, so maybe an exhaustion reversal, but you'd have to see on that. Just put a question mark there. If we go to 5 would be 322. It's inside month, which actually gives you more evidence for this to work out. Since it's inside month, it's more likely to go down than up and then back down again. That could also be a good one for tomorrow. 322. And we'll separate those 322 setups altogether. MU completely stuck on the month. Shopify, that could be a good one here. You'll see the new highs, takes them out. And the new lows in here. So 2-2 reversal, take these guys out down at 111.39. And that's going to be 222. So I'm going to remove Palantir. I'll just put shop in there instead. On to Rev stratting the month, 2 down on the week. Let's see, Rev stratting the month is 2-2 reversal on the week. Then 2-2 reversal on the day. Could send them puking. I'm not sure about the options there. So I'm just not going to put it on the list. HQY, 2-2 month down. 2-2 day down. Could confirm the month. HQY. And again, I'm not sure about the options there. Question mark on the options. Let's see. Octa. You can see we talked about this Rev strat month last month following through, which tells you it's going down here still. 86.88. You'll have the 222 day to make that happen below this stuff. 90.97. Marvell. Inside month, no thank you. Microchip. It's a 2-up month. Maybe it could cause this big weekly pivot machine gun to kick in like this. Maybe, right? You got a little bit of distance there, but maybe, right? If semis were to kick into the downside, that would do it. But so maybe. GitLab, it's inside month still. All right, so we're starting to get into some of the nobodies. Now we're going to start by ATR highs to lowest just to see what we got in there as far as interest goes. All right, so that's most of the tech names. Now I'm going to remove the tech filter. We'll take a look at highest to lowest, not just technologies, but all. So CEG failed to make new highs, could become a 2-2. If we go to utilities, they did go down today, but so maybe, right? We didn't see them buying them. Staples is closer to being weak, inside month down. ELV, talked about this one at the beginning of the new quarter, but 222 day in ELV to get them puking again. We'll put a star next to it. High volatility, plus you got a pretty aggressive seller in there. The other thing we can do is, since we know we are going to prefer things 2-2 reversal down with a monthly 2 to the downside, we can actually just scan for that and see who's in there. FTAI is one in there with the month 2 down. A little bit of magnitude. Octa is in there, so we'll just put a star next to Octa as well. SMPL, it's an interesting one. You got a lot of range to work with here. Like so. Not sure on the options, so I'm just going to put a question mark. All right, so that's your 2 up in reds. If I could scan for the 3s, I would. For now, we can only scan 1 3s on the day, so we'll start with that. About 31 of those guys. Highest to lowest, we got healthcare's big rev strat to the downside, which tells you UNH. In last night's vid, the double inside day, down they went. And I actually don't believe I actually got that in last night's vid. At least it wasn't on my list, so that's on me. I did see it yesterday in the scans though. And we talked about this, if you go to last week's weekend vid right here. Tick up, Where's it going? Down here. And we're just about to take them out. IRM real estate's a lot of meh. Rust. Let's see the rev strat day. Triggers inside week down. Still inside month. Could trigger the quarter. Does have the year going. So this 3-2 day in Rost could get things really going to the downside. Outside of that, there's not much interesting stuff going on. You could say CENX with a 1-3. The top of the broadening formation from last night's vid. Outside of that, we're out of luck there. As far as scanning for the threes is concerned, we're trying to get that fixed so we can scan for threes. We just currently do not have them built in. That being said, it's going to pretty much cover most of the video tonight. A lot of what we're going to talk about tomorrow is just confirming and negating. So do we get the SPY breaking all of this stuff, which, more than likely we do. And then do we get the Qs breaking this because tech's been holding up stronger? Does Dow Jones confirm the downside or do we reclaim? And then does IWM confirm the downside and take the week down? That's what we're going to be talking about. As far as, things that held up today, I'd say uranium's. So while the market's weak, uranium's still up there. And that's something we want to know. You'll see 2 still going. So URA tells you SMR. We go to OKLO, it's a maybe. CCJ. Yep. You got signals, CCJ, and uranium with the momentum hammers. So we'll put stars next to those guys. The last thing we can do here is take a look at the scenario ones on the day and see what we got. These will either confirm or negate what happened today. Start with the 3 ones, just take a look. SNPS, SCHW, and CCL. So SNPS, still this nice quarterly pivot machine gun up. 3-1 day. CCL, 3-1. SCHW, closer to the weekly reversal. So SNPS, SCHW, and then CCL. Just select all here and take a look. DE, MasterCard, Visa. So MasterCard double inside day, similar to UNH yesterday. These are ones we would like to know about. Some stars next to those guys because if that works, causes 3-2 week Visa, which could cause 3-2 month. The MasterCard, if that works, maybe a 2-2 month or 3-2, I can't quite tell there. And you would trigger the 3-2 week there as well. So very similar. App Autodesk. Autodesk after earnings 2-1 on the day, and they've obviously been selling this thing, so maybe they get going again to the downside. If you look up and left, broadening formation, it's going to look something along the lines of this for you. So it could go further. Let's see. Lockheed Martin. And then one thing we can do is, if you want to make this easier, go copy that up. Oops. Go 1, copy. Go to the week, clear the filters. Then you can go inside last week, and these would all be potential rev strats. So if we go 2 down, it'd be a continuation. If we go things that are 2 up, this would all be rev strats. So we'll take a look. Waste management. So you can see it ticks up, fails, tick back down. Heck yeah. Gonna put some stars next to there. Let's see. More industrials. UCN, maybe. RSG also. So waste management, WCN, RSG, all setting up the same big pivot machine gun. That's, you know, lots of stars next to it. We'll put those on top watch tomorrow. And NEE could fall under that as well. Kroger and the staples. Still a little bit more firm than the rest, although it could kick to the downside. And notice we're starting at high ATRs and then working lower at this point. Nothing else to look at. So industrials, all these could rev strat the week. But that's going to cover most of it here. Let's see. Here's your Tuesday night vid. Whole market down, but uraniums, NVIDIA still strong. Potential rev strat weeks in industrials, which is your waste management, WCN, RSG. And then MAs is V2X inside setups, QQQ 322 setup, SPY 22 setup, UMG. So here is the gist in here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me do that, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning if you're in stat, and if you're not, go and get in there, StratAlerts.ai. And if you want a discount or you have a reason to get one, you know, reach out and I might be able to help you out with that. But adios, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you then.